Hello and welcome to Foundations for Algebra, Unit 2A, Lesson 5. Today's objective is that scholars will solve equations using the distributive property. So first we need to talk about what is the distributive property. Well, to distribute means to divide something or give a share or part of something. So according to the distributive property, multiplying the sum of two or more addends by the number will give the same result as multiplying each addend individually by the number and then adding the products. So I have a picture down here on the bottom to sort of show you what I'm talking. Ooh, did not mean to turn that as I did it. To show you what I'm talking about. So you can see, if I have 3 times 2 plus 3, so here's 2 plus 3. So 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3. So that's by 3 times 2 plus 3. It is equal to, a little smaller so you can see the whole thing. It's equal to 3 times 2, which you see here, 3 times 2, plus 3 times 3. So you see, this has the same value as this. So that's what the distributive property says. If I have a number outside, I could multiply each part. 3 times 2 and 3 times 3. 3 times 2, 3 times 3. Okay? So the actual definition is sort of a lot of words. Basically, we are going to distribute. We're going to hand out to each of the things inside our parentheses the number that is outside them, the fact outside. So how can we use the distributive property? How can we use the distributive property to solve equations? First of all, we're going to abbreviate distributive property dist-prop so that we know when we're using the distributive property. So, the first thing I'm going to do here is use my distributive property. I'm going to use my distributive property to multiply this negative 8 times n and this negative 8 times 8. So I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem, which is negative 40 plus 2n equals 4n. Make sure you tell this n. Minus 8 times n is just 8n. And then negative 8 times 8 is negative 64. That's my distributive property there. Right here is where I did it. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine like terms. Remember, I can only combine like terms that are on the same side of my equal sign. So I can combine that 4 and that negative 8. So I have negative 40 plus 2n equals negative 4n, because 4n minus 8n is negative 4n. Sorry, make that look a little bit easier to read. Minus 64. Next, I am going to use SPE, and I'm going to subtract 2n from each side. So I have negative 40 plus 2n minus 2n equals negative 4n minus 2n minus 64. When I combine my like terms, I get negative 40 equals, because plus 2n minus 2n goes away, negative 6n minus 64. My next step is going to be to add APE 64 to both sides. So I have negative 40 plus 64 equals negative 6n minus 64 plus 64. So on the left side, I am left with 24, positive 24, equals negative 6n when I combine my like terms. Next, I am going to use my division property of equality, DPE, and I'm going to divide by negative 6. So I have 24 divided by negative 6 equals negative 6n divided by negative 6. Then I'm going to simplify this. Well, 24 divided by negative 6 is simply negative 4 equals negative 6n divided by negative 6 is just n. And there's my answer. It's not that hard. It's a lot more steps now, but all we're doing is the same things that we've done before. Let's try another example. Okay, so here I'm going to use my distributive property to distribute the 4 to my negative 3 minus 6x. So I'm going to use my distributive property first. So I have 40 minus x equals 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 4 times negative 6x is negative 24x plus 6. Next, I'm going to combine like terms. So I have 40 minus x equals, I've got negative 12 here and a positive 6. It becomes negative 6 minus 24x. My next step is going to be to add 24x to both sides. So I have 40 minus x plus 24x equals negative 6 minus 24x plus 24x. So when I combine my like terms, these are going to go away. On the other side, I have 40 plus 23x equals negative 6. My next step is going to be to subtract from both sides 40. 40 minus 40 plus 23x equals negative 6 minus 40. So these will cancel. These will combine. I'm left with 23x equals negative 46. I'm going to use my division property of equality, and I'm going to divide by 23 on both sides. So I have 23x divided by 23 equals negative 46 divided by 23. So I end up with x equals negative 2 when I simplify. Okay, so these aren't looking too bad. Here's another one. I suggest you pause the video and see if you're doing the same things I am. So the first thing I'm going to do is my distributive property. So I'm going to distribute the 8 to those two numbers. So I have 7x minus 8 times negative x gives me, it's going to be a plus, negative and times a negative should be positive, plus 8x minus 56 equals negative 16 plus 7x. So I'm going to combine my like terms. In this case, I can combine those. I get 15x minus 56 equals negative 16 plus 7x. So I'm going to subtract 7x from each side. So I have 15x minus 7x minus 56 equals negative 16 plus 7x minus 7x. When I combine my like terms, these are going to go away. These will combine. I get 8x minus 56 equals negative 16. My next step is going to be to add 56 to each side. So I have 8x minus 56 plus 56 equals negative 16 plus 56. When I combine my like terms, I get 8x equals 40. Next, I'm going to use my division property of equality and divide both sides by 8. So I have 8x divided by 8 equals 40 divided by 8. So x equals 5 when I simplify. And last one. Pause the video now and see if you can get your correct answer. Okay, hopefully you paused it and you can see what we did. If you didn't get the same answer, check your work and make sure that you did all your work correctly. If you have any questions, come see me in class. I'll talk to you later.